Interesting lamp there. Little vertebrae. They must be biology teachers, that's it. So I did it for the pilot, so you know I'm gonna do it for this episode as well. Hello, beautiful people. David here with Helluva Boss Murder Family Season 1, Episode 1. For those of you who don't know, I did react to this full episode. You can see it somewhere up there if you want to check that out. This is gonna be a longer video, though, because with my tons of stupid film knowledge that is collecting dust and not being used to make me money in any way, rattling around in my skull, I'm going to break down every shot in the first episode, official episode, of Helluva Boss, and I think it's going to be a fun little time. We're going to break down mise en scène, we're going to break down little bits of the animation, just how the shots are composed and how it helps tell the story, and I think it'll be a fun time, because I really enjoy doing this, and especially for cartoons, because they can do whatever shots they want. I'm gonna leave the sound on just, you know, for context in case that jogs anything within me, but let's begin. So this is the first bit. We're in the human world, very obvious by the highly saturated colors, bright colors, and on top of that, we can see the sky. It's very clear this is not in hell, and we all know that hell is primarily where this show takes place. So we're here in the real world. Learning is fun. Puppy's junior high school. Mise en scène is important for anyone breaking down film stuff. It's parts of the scenery. It's basically crap on screen. Basically stuff that helps flesh out the world building and enhance your understanding of it. We can see, like, toys and, you know, not toys, but, like, a little park. It's very clearly a typical happy high school. Junior school. Junior school. And so we got the bell. I kind of flushed right by that shot just to signify that it's the beginning of the school day. Birds are chirping. Everything's nice and idyllic, which we all know is about to change. Good morning. Nice pan on her hand, and this is our introduction to the person speaking. Really cool how they start with her in a really dark tone, talking about it wasn't always like this, and now we just see how chipper she is. In fact, she loses her accent after she dies as well. Obviously, spoilers, come on. So yeah, we can take a look. We got bright, sunny day, very happy, everything's great, the colors are bright. And then we got the kids. Word of the day, harmony. Look at this. Look how much art there is. Monday ends with art. Tuesday begins with art. I don't know what day... Actually, I think they say what day of the week it is. Weekend, have fun is probably what that ends up saying. Look at the happy meter. This is... You could tell how she runs her class. And look at her class. How they feel about her as well. And she asks if everyone did their homework. He immediately knows it's his place to just go right in there. He put his own hat on. It's great. Everything's so harmonious. Classic classroom. We got a nice big wide shot with the kids in the foreground. It's kind of like almost we're the perspective of them. She's in the middle, more or less, of the frame, kind of orchestrating everything. Punch in for her dialogue. Boom. And then, you know, flash of the kids, you know, cheering. It's a music video at this point. And good behavior equals who knows what. Yes, we all know she gave them the answer before they said 8. Okay, let's come on. Good behavior's great. Oh yeah, we actually don't... I could dig into the calendar and find out what day of the week January 8 was, but we will never know when art was first or last. And yeah, so kids in the sparkly backgrounds heightens the mood of the scene. Really enhanced. He said it's her husband's birthday, and that changes things. We're gonna zoom in. First the hand, then her head, then her face. See how that builds up the reaction? Really cool. That's what we call a close-up, obviously. Now we got a nice medium shot of her torso, upper torso. I wait, hold on. I kind of want to go this side of the room. It's just the numbers. Okay, great. Cool. I was curious what was on that side of the room. We've seen that side already. And there's, yeah, she didn't finish writing the year. And then that was just like a little far to medium shot of her reacting to not getting her husband anything. One of her kids is bringing in sunshine. It was interesting how that shot was almost lower angle at her. But she's the one with the bright idea to launch the Zoom call. So here we go. More mise en scène for this obvious cheating scene. Clothes strewn about, his tie, the sock, there we go. Yeah, man, everything is just everywhere. Are these incense sticks? What's going on there? Little dog, donkey, whatever that is. And then, boom. I love this. The shadow of the couple. So this is her husband, clearly. Actually, that silhouette's really important. No, it's not really important, but it just kind of helps later on. This is the husband. This is the wife. We've met the wife already. All we get is the husband's voice, as he says. Oh, yeah, right there. We're not gonna use things. Okay, now cut to this, and I love this. Hold on. Boom. Condom answers the Zoom call. Gotta love it. Also, wear protection, kids. Don't be like this cheating couple. Oh, yeah, right. And then, boom. Yeah, it was also within that shot. She had a close-up on her angry face, and I can't believe the kids are watching this. Look at their reaction faces. I love that. Obviously, her reaction, like, kind of what you would expect. Oops. I defull screened it, and boom, that was a great dejected look on her face. It was actually kind of very, like, almost anime, you know, like when they, like, zoom in and they accentuate the shadow over their eyes from the hair, and that kind of, like, hides the face. It really just shows how, like, non-expressive. It's a very nonplussed expression, but usually it's used to connotate a negative emotion, very much like this. And then I like this wide shot. It's actually the same shot we had before when the kids were in the foreground. Now we're still in the classroom because we're watching this whole thing go down, but the kids are up there. Oh man, the blocking on this shot is great. The kid in the corner is still in the corner. I really love the blocking of this shot.
Remember what you taught us?
Close up on the kid from her point of view, because you can see we're looking down at her.
Before you act.
From the teacher, I mean. And there, boom, there's the choke. And the kids react. Boom. Back to this shot where she goes up through the roof. That was just a cool kind of shot of her leaving, and the kids, kind of a rack focus to the kids in the back. Oh shit, sweetie. Oh yeah, the car drive. See, it's hard to do shot by shot breakdowns when the video is actually playing, because it's so easy to miss stuff. Boom. Parking lot. Children's zone, 90 kilometers, happy face. There's a handicap spot. And I never noticed this. See, this is the fun part of doing a shot-by-shot breakdown. You get nice stuff like that. PB4UCO? UGO? I don't know. That might mean something too. Obviously, this is I Love School. She is not happy in her best mind right now. I love this lake with the tire swing. Again, really cool stuff. And of course, she does not go down the very clearly lined road. She's going straight. She's literally making a beeline to the house, and then they're watching his computer screen, obviously. Cut to him in the corner. Oh, there we go. Nice. Reaction here. This is like a kind of a close-up of the monitor, I guess, but the kids' reactions is clearly the focal point with that blood. This is a very well done shot just because the blood happens while they're reacting. It's kind of cool. Nice dynamic. She's talking about the family that she never had. And I love how, like, the pacing of this scene is so good. She immediately realizes the thing was on and the kids were watching.
I'm proud of you all. I'm so sorry, my children.
Yeah, and then reactions, and a nice pan for the entire kids' room. Oh, and then they faint because she offs herself. Now we get into a really cool transition. Boom. So we have the bright, saturated living world, right? Then we have this completely dull, monochrome underground to more so just visually illustrate that we are now going underground. Obviously to... Come on. Hell. I love the stalactites. I like how there's still a sky in hell, even with the stalactites. Kind of really intriguing. But we get introduced to the very fun color palette that is Hell. I actually really like Hell's color palette as Vivian does it. It's not exactly monochrome, but the palette is much more limited compared to the human world. That's how we always know whether we're in the human world or not, which I think is a really cool decision. This is a great establishing shot too. We have the skyline, but down to the city. Boom. This is the building where IMP headquarters is.
And still gets sent down here.
And that kind of helps the entire establishing of this current tense, the current situation, because that was technically a flashback. Meetings in progress. This, actually, I kind of talked about this when I broke down the pilot, but very cool how the mise-en-scène here, it's a short shot, but you learn so much about this place just right off the bat. They're practically scrawled imp headquarters on the door with probably spray paint, maybe blood. The taped on, freaking ripped out of a notebook, meeting in progress. Like, you could tell this is a low-budget operation,
After one measly...
Speaking of low-budget operations, we got this awesome, film noir level lighting, and I love, I always love the big shadow of the blinds with the sun poking through. We get circus ticket, which I believe Blitz was in the circus, so we got lots of character history here. I don't know what this is. I think he has a sister, too. It's in the pilot episode breakdown. And then, just kind of everything's strewn about. Very kind of disheveled, dirty walls. Love her in the foreground of that shot. And then bang, we got a lemon trees. I love that this says no. Does that say what I think it says? It says no horrors, which is a great reference to a really funny video that was circulating through the internet. Now we got a dartboard. He's very clearly... I would love to know who's on that dartboard. Hopefully you get a close-up on that later. And then boom, nice medium shot of her in her current state. And we can't see her until she comes to the foreground. Boom. Gotta love that. And look at her new design. And this is a great look at character design too. Because if you look at her, this is timestamp 2:15, right? If we go to her, where is she? I want to get her at her happiest. Boom. Okay, there we go. This is perfect. Look at the shapes that make up her hair. Round features. Look at her fingers. Look at her everything. Look at her face. Everything's round. She keeps her entire anatomy pretty much intact. And then when we go to 2:15, boom, she comes out. Just keep in mind the shapes that create her right now. Check this out. So she still has roundness on the upper part of her hair, but look at that tuft in the back. She grew horns. Her ears are pointy now. Her eyes are a lot more slanted. Look at the bags under her eyes. This woman has a lot of hate in her heart, and it's great how they illustrate this. The tattered sleeves, obviously sharp edges to the bottom of her hair instead of the round bounciness of it. It's a less fun image, and even her fingers are more pointed, as we'll see later. Reverse shot, and then close up on him. I loved her reaction there just now. Blitz kind of doing his thing. He's very nonchalant, as you can tell by his posing. And then, of course, she's pissed. Nice over-the-shoulder shot of him. We're clearly from his perspective looking at this woman. Again, I don't know who's on that dartboard, but it's very intriguing to me. Now, she is just smoking, which you probably could imagine she was likely not doing in her previous life. Then back to here. I don't know if this is technically a reverse shot. It doesn't feel like it's from her. Otherwise, it would be an over-the-shoulder from her.
We're operating down here, so we take revenge.
So we're kind of this weird third party. We're kind of just watching the meeting between them. We're not really on her side anymore, which is very, very interesting. We kind of never were. We never really had. We had one POV shot from her, and it's when she was at her most negative emotion, right before she was about to throw the child. Again, very interesting. Close up. Medium close.
Like
okay, now we have an over the hand shot. So there we go. Boom. So we kind of went from Blitz, over the shoulder Blitz, to back to Blitz. Then we kind of punched out a little bit, looked at her, and now we're here on her side. Boom. Great. Fist shaking. And of course, yeah. So kind of notice how that initial close-up on her reaction was the bridge to the over the shoulder. So that kind of established our being on her. From her perspective. Does this make any sense? Film stuff is weird when you break it down, but it's hopefully this is interesting to someone. I love how she has hooves. This is a great place that I paused it. Look at her skirt. It's all tattered now. She's got a nice little demon tail, or sinner tail. I guess demons and imps and sinners are all different things. I don't know. I actually think demons is a good catch-all term for if you live in hell. But bang, she's got goat hooves. She's definitely a de facto demon.
Hell with you.
Nice shot between both of them.
That
Her in the foreground approaching.
Now they-
Okay, this is going to be a nice little montage. Back to the human world, as you can see by the saturated colors again. Really great. I love how they do this. Got a crowd in the background clamoring towards her. This is the cheater, and she is currently bandaged up with her real husband, because this clearly was not the person we saw in the silhouette in the shot before, so clearly, and like, it's reasonable to assume that he's dead, because she probably went on a spree and got everyone except her. But this is her family. Gotta love this kind of Dutch angle thing we got going on. It's a little tilted to make things a little unsettling, show how uncomfortable this situation is for the demon. And then we got hand in the foreground. Again, the husband really just reacts in this, but we are punching on him because we want to familiarize him with the audience for later, in anticipation of what will happen later. But notice how neither of them are dominating the frame until she speaks, and then she's dominating the frame. We get a close-up on her, back to this, and then boom, reactions and the 2 million.
Oh, thank you.
So she's definitely like, so it's clear that like we're associating her with her husband, which will make it easier to disregard him and his well-being later on, in addition with other things that happen later as well. But now we got the family. Look at them. Look at this cute, wholesome family. Again, I hope you guys have seen the original episode, because things are about to get fun. But you gotta, if we look at these guys, they are a typical country family. She basically is a spitting image of Dolly Parton in Vivian Mandrano's style. We got this guy in his flannel and bolo tie. We got the girl in her cowboy boots. And the boy in his frickin' coonskin hat, dirty boots. Very, like, it's very clear how old these characters are and the disparity between all of them. A really great little family shot, honestly. Then we punch out, boom! Lake House! What else would you do with 2 million? And there's the same birds from the beginning of the episode. Got skyline down to her, VNN. Again, mise en scène tells the story about how news works. Again, it's very much the real world, so it's clearly how our world works, but we can kind of see the nuances with little things like that.
My mama's a...
Okay, sorry. I needed to breathe. Now we're in this grocery store. Before she was out for a run, nothing crazy there. But it does show that she's in her community. And speaking of her community, now she's in the grocery store. Look at these, like, not brands. And she's like, Mom's a hero.
Is a hero.
Perspective from the kid. Everyone thinks she's a hero. Love this. Oh, let's talk before I go off saying stuff like that. It is 3:15 a.m. They've been up for a while. This clearly is her husband. Now we know because they have a picture here, but we know that she cheats on her husband. I think these are cigarettes. Don't quote me on that. Family shot here. Local hero. Newest saint. Gotta love these little things. The shot of her... Okay, this is a weird one. Shot of her kids with her bra strewn over it. I don't know what to think of that. Then we got the check with her and her family, which is framed up above. Notice how this looks a little bony, this picture frame. Just saying. And then there's a shotgun. Freaking double-barrel shotgun right here. Interesting. Human pelvic bone lining her wallpaper. This is a strange family, don't you think? Again, this shot lasts for 2 seconds. And then she's at church. Again, very interesting knowing the full story. And then she's back to the classroom. This must be the teacher, I guess? The new teacher? I actually like her design a lot. And, I don't know why she came. Maybe she's giving a talk or something. This mother ducker is still not doing his homework, clearly. Oh, how to deal with trauma 101. So she's giving a talk to the kids. That's great. And they know who she is, because they've seen more of her than anybody else has. Okay, great. Back here. I really hope this doesn't get pulled. But same exact shot as before. We don't know what time it is, but... this highlights more. We got antlers on the bed. Again, very, like, typical American South, if you can tell by the voices of the characters already. But check out this guy. That ain't her husband. Nope. No siree. So this chick is still doing her thing. Look at that unremorseful face. Nice shot on the smash. And boom. And look at that close-up.
Yeah, okay, yeah, my thoughts exactly.
And look at her dominating the frame now. Oh, gosh. Okay, that was a quick cut of his hand and the deranged client. Again, played for a laugh. Gotta love it. But that's a great transition. Notice how these shots stitch together the seamlessness of this animation, of this cartoon, of this video, of this movie. It's a short movie. All, things like that are technically shorts. Breath. So that serves as a great transition to the front desk, which is the rest of our cast. Moxie, close up on what he's doing, what he's aiming at, then who's with him. Look at her punches out like that.
I feel so.
And then they're on one side, she's on the other. We could show what Luna does when no one's on a call right now, or what ends up doing when they're all just in the office. Okay, I hope it goes back to Luna. This is a nice over her hand shot.
It's a family. Under what circumstances would we ever
I hope we go back to Luna, actually, because there's something I wanted to show.
if that's what the client wants.
And they're talking. They're clearly in a relationship, which we knew already.
But to eradicate an entire innocent...
But if this is your first episode, you don't know until... Darn, they don't do it. It's a freaking close-up on Luna. Damn it. Okay. Oh, I didn't notice that this in between is a nice little speed transition. I like that. Okay, this is what I wanted to look at. Notice how this is clearly a thing that's been going on. Look at what he's shot so far. This clown demon thing, which I think is a character from Viv. I think he appeared in a music video. This is a picture of the heart between two goats in love. And then this, I can barely make out. It looks like just animals or something like that, but he clearly didn't, he missed the center of this. He got between the goats, he got this demon, which is pretty great, but we know he's having trouble shooting this family, a human family. And that should end up on the wall just like the rest of these, but it ain't. Because we're getting introduced to Moxie's little conflict. Okay, and this is a really cool shot, just from an animation thing. How Moxie's words, because Luna and Moxie, we know from the pilot, they don't really get along. But Luna does seem a little bit swayed by his words, because she looks at the family and she's like, wait a minute. But then she immediately gets her denial back and comes up with...
Hey, you don't know they're innocent. This kid probably
She justifies it.
Fire. Maybe this girl gets off to bullying Australian kids online, and this guy definitely watching.
Notice how they don't say anything about the mom, or the baby, I guess, but the mom, because the mom ends up being the target for the next family, which is interesting. Again, these little things don't really mean much, but when you're really going through this with a fine-tooth comb and a microscope, just little things are interesting.
Humans are full of secret nasties.
Phone.
So many of them end up here. But guilty and innocent aren't our business, Mom.
And now we get the idea that they're a little bit more than co-workers.
She's a target.
There, and that's it. That shows that. Great, in the first scene with them. Again, if this is someone's first episode, you want to make sure these things are clear. Okay, and boom, punch out, so they can enter the frame, and look how well set this is. I love this. Notice, like, that's the beauty with animation. You have control over your sets and control over your camera, and it's great. Things can be so seamless. Nice, wide to the entire room. We see this weird tank of eels, and that won't last very long. Boom, narrowly misses her. He gets the target, and misses Luna, and boom, there we go. On the eel tank. That's to show what's about to happen. That's wobbling, speed lines, blitz, and this is actually really good. That whole sequence shows a lot about the character. Luna did not know what to do. Freaking Millie can think on her feet and well enough to dodge, but also does rely on Moxie, as you can see as she jumps into his arms. Moxie is a little bit incompetent, as we've seen, and hesitant, but that's kind of the focal point of the episode. I don't really need to mention that so much. And Blitz is actually probably the most adept, even if he is the craziest and most assholey one of everyone. Look at him his reflexes are able to do this pretty much effortlessly, so she doesn't get stabbed, because you don't want to shoot your client. And there's that, back to the wide. Chaos. And there we go, another establishing shot. Now we are outside on the streets.
Don't worry, we'll get that skank unless it's...
I like this, the fire department, just kind of grabbing those eels and number 42. Gotta love that. And then everyone's just outside. This is literally, Luna right here is literally me every time we had a fire drill at college. And we got him talking. He's clearly setting her up in a taxi, sending her on her way, and Notice how they say it's in the next 24 hours or it's free. That kind of gives us an idea of the time frame in which these demons normally work in.
When did we start implementing that deal?
When you set fire to my office in front of a client, you
Double
fucking
shot of the two of
dipshit!
them, gives room, lets room to dominate the frame, and then we focus on him when he throws Moxie away.
Intact.
You mean
Love that. Of course, classic piece of mise en scène right here. Goat, an asshole in the living worlds, exclamation question. Come to IMP. Make sure you put the sign on the right side, which they didn't because the arrow's pointing away from the building, which again, thanks to the cinematography and shots, we understand where the building is relevant to this shot. Don't F this up. Also, payment may take a couple weeks because it comes in the mail. Speech to text blitz. A blitz. Oh god. There's so much wrong with that. It kind of shows how... Also, didn't they say they can't afford a billboard in the pilot? Just saying. So, clearly this shows a lot of things. It shows what Blitz has tolerance for, and also that he tends to skimp on services that he pays for, which shows a lot about him as a business owner.
side? Yeah.
Again, a lot of this stuff sets up character elements that can be made into whole episodes later on, which is the real beauty of this.
Got it.
And then we get the idea that Luna is probably one of the most competent people here because she actually protected the book, which is the most important thing in the office.
Sweet now.
Ew, stop.
Oh.
You're so gross.
And there's just some dynamic between them. I love shots like this because it just really shows how short they are. Again, when they go to the human world, we really get an idea of how short they are, but Luna is not that tall. I think she's just normal size, and imps are just generally short. Which makes sense, because they're imps. I love this, too. Condemned building, IMP taped over it. Clearly, they're just squatting in this building for their whole base of operations. It's a condemned building, and they're just doing their thing. I wonder if that's going to be an episode point later on. Maybe, like, they'll deal with infrastructure problems or something. This shows the transition between what will be hell and the human world. Character dynamics. And boom. They go in. This shows where they came from, punch out, and we know this scene already because we've seen it. And this is probably the same day because it's sunset now, where before it was bright out. Probably not really the same day, but you never know. Actually, it definitely wasn't the same day because she had enough time to cheat with another guy in the same house, so yeah. Cut to this area where they're just kind of sharing the frame, plotting. Cut to him, cut to him. This is like an over the shoulder because now we're on Moxie's. See how we were already like very quickly put on Moxie's side because we had an over the shoulder and then back to Moxie and his reaction to this. Love it. And the pan out. Actually, I wonder if there was anything in the frame worth noticing about. He was so ready too. Okay, we got kids at the table, wifey at the table, serving food. Of course, man of the house. Very typical family. Interesting bone mirrors. And I love this touch. And I didn't notice this when I first saw the episode. A wheelchair with an urn in it. And they set dinner for poor grandma. Oh, that was interesting. Also, look at, oh, come on, David. Your paws instincts. Come on, here we go. Boom. This is interesting. I wonder if this will play a role later on. Okay, boom. Oh, and that's strange. I actually made a mistake. I thought this was the kid from the pilot, and he totally isn't. He was brown-haired, and yeah. So, but these are the guns. This is a very strange trophy, if I do say so myself. Again, makes you wonder things about this family. I love these heart-shaped chairs, though. Oh, and look at them. They had such a sweet moment there, and of course that's what Moxie sees. Alright, this shows what Blitz is doing. Back to the outside shot with the two of them sharing the frame, with enough room for the gun, and now back to Blitz. Cut, cut, cut. Oh, and there we see Moxie mess everything up. Interesting lamp there. Little vertebrae. They must be biology teachers, that's it. Strangely put together lampshade, don't you think? Oh, this is interesting. It's a pig. It's a straight up pig. That's funny. That's actually really funny, for reasons later. But we'll see. Little knife on the kitchen there. Oh, look at all this fun stuff. Oh man, I love looking at the walls. There's bones in a bucket here. Back to this shot. Yeah, close up on him. I love how their teeth changed once they reveal their dark side. Someone left the fridge open. That's not good. Oh, ooh! Oh, I love that! Oh my god, that's so good. Again, mise en scène. Little clues everywhere. Ah. And now she gets her teeth, I think right now. There we go, right when she says out. Boom. And then these kids also get their sharp teeth. I love how he has the gun in his coonskin hat the whole time.
Got some rabbits to catch, youngin'.
And now we see, this is what Moxie should have seen. He probably wouldn't have had many qualms. Again, the urn. I love the urn.
What the fuck was...
Yeah, and this shows that they very clearly did not see them just go on the offensive.
that, Moxie?
Which is why they're gonna get very, very surprised. Him having a panic attack. Oh, now this is a blitz shot. Over the shoulder perspective shot.
Who the fuck is innocent, Moxie? From the moment of birth, you're already a parasite.
Oh, look at him.
Your mama's tits. Get the fuck
And
over
now he dominates the center of the frame just in time for...
yourself, you baby dick prick.
Boom.
A new hole.
And notice how they shot right in the center. Interesting how they wouldn't have shot Blitz if he wasn't getting so aggressive. I like that. These little things are so great. Shots get a little bit more frenetic now because chaos is about to reign. Love them. Oh, I love the background foreground for both sets of characters involved in this. And I love it. Wait, hold on. Moxie is in the bushes, right? We knew this.
Get the fuck over yourself, you
I
baby
need to
dick
see
prick.
something real quick. Boom.
New hole.
Scatter. I think. Okay, Millie was there the whole time. Very interesting how she only really disappears now. And that's Millie. Okay, good. I thought that was Moxie for a second, and then, yeah, that wouldn't have made sense, but it does. Now that looks like the man's hand, but I think it's the son's hand because of where Moxie ends up after this shot. That's a really cool bounce that she does. And we got a low angle from him showing that he's in power of this scene, but this is a nice little, like, Friday the 13th-esque shot. She's about to assassinate. There we go, a little close-up on her. There, oh, and there it goes. Right in the middle of the attack. She falters, and then we got a nice low angle from him. This is probably her perspective. And this is a creepy face. Just saying it's a little grapey. That's all. We're only halfway through. And then she closes her eyes for that little vignette that shows that definitely was her perspective. First person POV. Okay, and then we punch out twice as he wakes up. Boom, boom. So we discover as much of the scene as fast as he discovers the scene. And we got the 4 kids in the foreground. Boom! Gotta love them. Creepy as hell.
Well, hello, little ones. Aren't
Oh,
you
look at that chair. Ain't that fun?
Have a new
Creator to play with. I love how they're staggered too. It really adds to the creep factor. And then boom! We learn as much about the scene in tandem with Moxie. We can barely make out what's going on here, but of course we're going to get a close-up as he's looking around, we're looking around, panning through all this fun reveal that they are cannibal serial killers. We laugh, love, live, laugh, love. I love this. I didn't notice that the first time. Got some entrails here. So what was up with that pig? Did they prepare this like just in time? Because as far as we know, this guy was probably still in the fridge from what I saw. Again, we'll never know. Boom, cut to this area. Notice how the colors are still pretty saturated. It's very clear that we're still in the real world and not hell. Also, there's no foliage in hell. As far as we know. Love these shots of people running or walking through the forest. We're going to see quite a few of those later on. Now, look at, we're a lot more claustrophobic. Notice how the camera pans around in this forest to really show how on the hunt he's feeling. Low angle here. This is just a really cool shot in general. I really like this. Normally, low angles are used to delineate a certain degree of power over the subject of the shot, but it's funny because he's so not in control of this situation that he's in right now. So, really cool dynamic action on the camera artwork. Again, people walking through the forest, love silhouettes, very horror, and of course, just in time for that. Notice how they leave enough room in the frame so that she's in the frame, she leaves the frame, then we get the reaction, and then right immediately, that empty space in the frame is being filled up by the phone being fumbled with. I love it. This is the same low angle from before. And then boom, new establishing shot of who he's talking to on the phone. Of course, it is none other than good old Stolas. Love his... We learned so much about Stolas just by this. First of all, he's got an epic bathtub with constellations and weird runes on the ground and walls here. Shows that he's a mystical character. These candles are very nice. He's also a very sensual character, which we know already. But again, if it's your first time seeing this, you understand that. All these purples denote a degree of regality. Again, along with the ornate bathtub, really kind of just shows how fancy this man is, in fact... Without dialogue. Again, show don't tell. Again, sensuality. He's very slender build. Again, this is more character design than anything else. Got a long neck, long limbs, long proportions, and just like a very coy looking face. Good character design. He's actually one of my favorite characters in this show. He's silly. An interesting bit here. I love how this shot kind of shows that he has the power to kind of see people that he's either thinking about or talking to, or maybe he's channeling his magic somehow. We learned in the pilot that his hand can glow red, so he has some sort of power that we aren't familiar with. And I love how he just popped to the Blitz bubble. Very, like, playfully. Again, this is a very, like, almost voyeuristic shot.
The book I was given to do my job.
We're kind of peeking on him in the bathtub, again. Which kind of adds to the, I guess, creep factor that he would have no qualms with being spied upon, and also we know exactly how sexual this character is when revealed by his dialogue later on. And that's a great shot. Duck, boom, there she is, right in the center. Again, silhouettes work my heartstrings just as well as sunsets do. Love her little jack-o'-lantern face.
Anywho,
And of course that just cuts back to show us what Blitz is dealing with. There is a bit of urgency in his situation, and there's so not urgency in what Stolas is talking about.
I have been permitting you to access the mortal realm less than legally for some time now, but I do need it back to fulfill my duties. I was thinking...
I wonder what his duties are.
...worked out some kind of exchange.
So he's just being... Again, notice how he draws out his words a little bit. Like, he's got all the time in the world, which again just helps kind of delineate between this situation and the other situation, which is a lot more frantic. Love this close-up on his little hands, and there, boom! Like I told you, he glows red. He's got powers. I don't know what his powers are. Again, running through the woods, always great. Again, this background-foreground stuff is so great. And that is such an Invader Zim face.
Once a month, on the full moon, you return the book to
Now he's
me
in the center of the
followed by a
frame.
night.
We're kind of... If we're in perspective of this, we're basically in the bathtub on the other side as Stolas. So this just really dominates... It makes him dominate the frame and the shot. I love... This is a really good thing. I love how his eyes are always red, but then when he gets really impassioned about something, he gets pupils. He gets little white pupils, and I think that adds a lot to his character.
Fornication. And you get to keep it all the rest of the time, hmm? Sound fair, my little imp?
So yeah, he's being really coy, and then Blitz can't deal with it. This phone says, go F yourself, which is fun.
Excited. I cannot wait to feel your slimy
And Blitz is like, I really don't need to be dealing with this.
side of my...
He's like, no! This is not the thing right now. And then, of course, that distracted him just enough while Stolas is still going on. Great shot to really show that Blitz has, in fact, his back up against the wall. Or tree, in this case.
Come to drag me and my kindle.
Again, really cool dynamic shot. And a lot of these shots could be the thumbnail for this video, which I think is great. Just great composition on the parts of the animators. Close up. On a nice evil face. Cut back to Moxie. Shows that he is bound. This shows what he sees. And notice how no shots wasted. We cut to him in his situation. What is the visual storytelling? He's in rope. We cut out, not just to see him struggling with the rope, but to see what he sees outside the window. And then we get him saying Millie. This is his situation with the kids about to do something awful. And then he's like, F you. So this shows the whole sequence with characterization. It shows that he is being inspired by his love for Millie to actually finagle his way out of this situation. And boom, he gets her. And then right out of the window, nice little shot of him being kind of badass for once in his life. And then him being out of breath. Hold on, we gotta go back. What was that? What was hung up there on the trees? Is this like weird things? Yeah, they're like setting up a little ritual thing. So they're almost like cult hicks as well as just cannibal things. We got a nice establishing shot again of what's going on. He's doing that. Everyone's pissed. Then, yeah, this is like a weird ritualistic bonfire burning. It's basically a lynching. Like, you know, burned at the stake. And unfortunately, like, this is kind of like a thing that can happen. There are crazy people like this who do this to humans, not demons, but, you know, it's like, kind of brings back Salem witch hunts, a little bit of racism kind of connotations. Like, there are lots being subtly connotated by this scene. And it's a trope. It's the crazy hillbilly family that eats people. But of course, it's a demon situation. And of course, we get this little perspective shot from her, because we're looking over her leg right now. And then he's like, yeah, no, ain't gonna work.
Doesn't really hurt us, but I mean, I could fake it if that'll get your dick hard.
And then Millie's laughing. Reaction, and boom. So notice how she's like, what to do? And then we punch out for when she re-dominates the frame with her gun.
That would be more effective.
And then back to them, back to the barrel, and then back to her, and classic gunshot from off screen. We don't know until we see. Oh my god, I didn't notice her eye pops out like that. And then that was just a cool, again, they do a lot of cool foreground, background stuff, with Moxie in the background, her in the immediate foreground. That was a huge close-up on the violence. Back to all these people doing their thing.
Apology accepted.
But if you ever pull a stunt like this again, I will fuck you and your wife.
Notice how this frame is enhanced so much by the fire in the background.
Alrighty, job well done. Now let's get on.
And again, everyone's sharing space in that frame. Oh, and I love this. Little unicorn. Shows a lot about Blitz's character.
I need to get something I left at the house.
Okay, fine, but hurry up. Luna!
That's just a boss moment right there. Okay, fine, but hurry up. Again, people walking through the woods in this episode just looks so good. Parallax scrolling, man. And then, of course, Stolas' phone. Or Blitz's phone. Shows that he has multiple phones. Establishing shot here of where we are. We already know this area very well. This is where Moxie got free. There's a pool table here now for some reason. So that implies that this was a different room than the immediate dining room. Which explains why there's no pig here. And it was another guy. Dartboard, bone things, and then boom. He comes right into the frame. And then, yeah, this is just, in any other type of media, this would be a scary shot of a man and his family.
What are you gonna...
And look, the kids are, like, freaking terrified. This bear is the girl's bear. Okay, good. I forgot who had it, but I do know what it's used to communicate later on. And then this guy is like, what are you gonna do?
Little guy, kill us.
And I like how he, like, realizes what he's capable of doing. It's like, what are you gonna do? And then the kids are just sad because, you know, they, at the end of the day, even if they're effed up in the head, they are still kids and they were just doing what their parents taught them to. So they're probably very scared because they've never been in this compromised of a position before.
I should. You people are monsters.
Smiley remote.
But you should have a chance at a life and a purpose.
And we got, this is the living room.
They have their...
As he's talking about how your kids have your whole life ahead of them, he's just like, what? I don't know. And they're just like, what is he talking about? He's like, I don't know. He's like, this is your life, guys.
I will call your...
I just love that shot so
and they will
much.
make sure you are dealt with.
And of course, Moxie being Moxie.
I'm handling this my way.
This is just a reverse shot, but I do like how that's, again, no space in the frame is wasted. Even in a later shot, even though in a later instance of that same shot, boom, the TV comes on. They're so good at not wasting space. Close up on the remote, which I love, that it smiles.
You have a phone to summon 911?
Yeah, it's in the kitchen.
And I love how, like, when he's like, do you have a phone? And the kids are just like, what? I love this eyebrow look that both of them are doing. And he's like, yeah, it's in the kitchen.
Then What is this for?
It's a universal remote.
And they're still confused. And then he says,
Got it for the kids.
and then they're like, "Aw, it's such a nice, weirdly wholesome moment." Exactly. And Moxie reacts to it.
Wank off session.
Oh gosh, I missed that quick shot of him coming to them. What's going on here? Okay, clearly they've been waiting for a while. Millie's like afraid of Blitz just leaving probably. And then boom, finally, you made it.
Yes, have a good wank off session, Moxie.
Excuse me?
God.
Look, I don't care where you come.
I hate this joke. It's so stupidly ham-fisted in for no reason.
Come to your job on time.
Like, the writing's great, but I just think that joke was a little... Come on. Okay, but little shots to connotate space, location,
I
characters.
think I just needed.
They share the frame because they are goals.
Good heart, honey. Just a fuzzy head.
Fuzzy head. Oh. And of course, just as he's about to... Whoa, 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 what was that?
Good heart.
It's crazy what I notice when I'm looking through this with a fine-tooth thing. So he goes out, boom, so he follows. What is going on? Why are you crying, Blitz? What's going on here? Why are you so sad? I mean, they did the job. I mean, maybe he's just sad about every... Maybe he does feel something for Mox. I don't know. Gosh, question of the day. What is this look that Blitz has for this 2 seconds? You know they could have given him any expression they wanted to, so why this? Why does he look like he's about to cry? He's like holding him... Oh, maybe he's just traumatized from what he just went through. Cool. Which shows that he doesn't show that kind of thing to anyone. Oh, that's really interesting. I could be reading too much into it. That's what this whole video is supposed to be. So, God, I'm gonna think about that for a while. And then, boom, another establishing shot of where the house is in relation to where they are. And that's how the authorities handle it. And is there anything of note in this? I love how this tree and this tree are still used in that same shot from way back when IMP first shows up, as well as when the family shot with her holding the check when they first buy the house. And then boom, reaction, and there's the teddy bear, just to show exactly, you know, because we established, again, this is great storytelling in general. We show that the girl is with the teddy bear, and that the teddy bear and the girl are, you know, boom. And then now that you see this, you know exactly what happened, just in case, like, there's no question about it, which I like. And Blitz is like, come on. Alright. Again, mise en scène shows exactly what this scene's all about. Big celebration. We got cake, we got knives, we got everything. Luna's eating her thing. She's super thrilled, obviously, because she just won. Blitz's arm's busted, of course. And everyone's happy and partying. Because they killed the girl. So, boom.
Oh, yeah.
And he's traumatized because of, literally just because of the family, the rest of the family getting iced. I like how it says, we did it, with the colon, bracket, smiley face.
Well, here's to another mission accomplished, and Moxie finally learned not to fuck
Yeah.
And killing people isn't that big a deal if they try to kill you back.
That's messed up. But I paid for
Love her
it.
claws. Also, I love how... Hold on, let's go back here real quick.
But I paid for it.
Okay, literally, Millie and the teacher are the only ones audibly laughing. Clearly Luna's laughing and Blitz is laughing, but their voice actors are clearly not laughing in this shot, which I just think is funny. I see you cutting corners, guys. I love it. I love it. It's not a dig, guys. I love it. I love you guys so much. And thank God we finally got through all of that. Again, that was a huge shot-by-shot breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed me breaking down the entirety of Season 1, Episode 1, Murder Family of Helluva Boss. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something about cinematography, visual storytelling, animation in general. Again, I don't really animate, but I was a film person. I love making videos. I loved making movies in college as well. And I loved being able to use this knowledge to maybe communicate something that will entertain or at least give you guys a good way to spend 50 minutes. So, with that being said, do like this video if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't, smack the bell so you never miss a thing, and I will catch you guys in my next video. whatever it may be. Who knows? For now, this is Dave out. Peace out. Have a great one. Bye.